Alright guys, I'm here with another E3 impressions. This is gonna be for the Sony press conference because I didn't watch the other ones. I know there was EA's, there was Ubisoft's. I didn't bother watching them. I don't really care. Their games are like some of their games, like the more notable ones, will be shown on everybody else's. Like they're gonna be shown on Xboxes and on Sony, so I didn't bother to watch theirs. So I don't know if they showed anything super amazing. If they did, I guess I missed out. If they didn't, well, I didn't miss a thing. So in terms of Sony's, I feel Sony did I feel they did a good job with what they presented. They actually presented a lot of good stuff. First thing they showed, which I didn't even see, and I didn't even know until until I woke up like 10 minutes ago, was the Last Guardian was shown. And they showed like a trailer, a gameplay trailer of the boy interacting with the giant mythical beast, whatever that thing is. It looks cute. It looks like a dog mixed with a chicken or not a chicken, maybe like some type of avian creature with like little horns on its head. It looks adorable. I'm not a huge Ico or Shadow of the Colossus fan. I have not bothered to play through either of those games. I've played Ico a little bit, but I never played through it. And I've played Shadow of the Colossus a little bit, but I've never played through it. I'm not saying they're terrible games or anything. I can appreciate a good game when I sit down and play it, but I just haven't taken the time to play them. When this comes, because this game has been in development for like a very long time. It was originally on the PlayStation 3, and they stopped development of it on the PlayStation 3 when the PS4 was announced, and they moved that over to the PS4. So yeah, if well, I assume it's still coming out because they showed it, obviously. But when it does come out, and if I have a PS4 at that point in time, I might pick it up. I don't see any reason to not. It looks interesting. So this time I actually had, I actually took notes so I didn't miss any games. The next game they showed, at least from the point on where I got onto the video, was Horizon Zero Dawn, which is, like, when I first saw it, I thought it was like a CGI trailer, but it wasn't. It was actually gameplay, and the gameplay kind of reminded me of Tomb Raider. You're playing as this female protagonist. There's this weird future thing going on where she's hunting mechanical animals. They're like machines, but they're also like animals, and she eventually gets attacked by like a giant Tyrannosaurus robot thing, and it's really weird. It kind of reminded me of Tomb Raider in the gameplay, and it kind of reminded me of what's the name of that game? I can't remember it off the top of my head. The game where you play as Monkey. I have it, and I don't want to go digging through my games because it's gonna make a lot of noise. It's like Odyssey to the West or something like that. It's the game that's based off the story that Dragon Ball Z is based off of. You guys probably know what I'm talking about. If you don't, I'll probably put it on the screen. I can't remember it off the top of my head. It's something Odyssey to the West. So, like, the theme of this Horizon Zero Dawn reminds me of that. At first, I was getting, like, a Heavenly Sword vibe. But, then I saw, like, the robots and the machines and stuff like that. And I was like, yeah, that reminds me of the other game. So, yeah, seeing how that's a new IP, at least I think it is. I've never heard of Horizon Zero Dawn. I don't know if it's a sequel or a spiritual successor to anything. I've never seen it before, so I'm just gonna assume it's a new IP. If it's not, I apologize. It looks interesting, I guess. It looks nice. Next up was the new Hitman. Wasn't excited for that. It was a CGI trailer anyway. And most of it was of Agent 47 jogging in the snow. That man looks very young and fit. I don't know how old Agent 47 is. I'd assume he's very old at this point. But he always, every time I see him in a new game, he always looks younger. Because he looked a bit older in the last game, but now he looks much younger. So I don't know. He's aging backwards as they progress through the games. So yeah, it was just a CGI trailer of him. Like, as soon as I saw like him jogging, because it showed like Square Enix, and then I saw someone jogging in the snow, and I recognized his face like before the trailer was even like 1/3 done, I was like, okay, this is a Hitman game. It didn't take me long to realize that it was a trailer for a Hitman game. I played Absolution. I'm not a huge Hitman fan. I played Absolution. I own Blood Money, but I've never bothered to play it. Absolution was okay. I had fun playing it. It wasn't the best thing in the world, though, but it wasn't the worst either. I don't know if I'm going to get this new one. I have neither like nor dislike for the franchise. I tend to not like Square Enix, though, so I may not pick it up brand new. I don't like what Square Enix puts out, to be honest. So anyway, moving on, I want to make sure I get through all the things. There's a lot of games that Sony actually showed. Some old stuff, some newer things. So they showed Street Fighter 5 gameplay. They showed off some new characters, or showed off some other characters. I believe Cammy was shown, Birdie was shown. I believe he's new. They showed Ryu doing some stuff, so that was fancy. And I mean, I don't care about Street Fighter at this point. I haven't cared about Street Fighter in a very long time, and I've never been that good at playing Street Fighter, so I haven't bothered to get into the games. So this doesn't appeal to me, but I can see people who are excited for this. In terms of what it looks like Street Fighter 4, except they changed the art style a little bit. I don't even know how to explain it. It kind of looks like they put like a more of a I don't know. They like put a shading over the characters. Like essentially, it looks like the same game, but in terms of like the models and stuff. But it looks like they put like a little filter or shading over the fighters. And if I remember correctly, it has destructible environments and stuff like that. Either way, Street Fighter is not on my radar. But that was the thing they showed, Street Fighter 5, because it's going to be exclusive on the PC and the PS4. So they decided to show that. Also, I should have said this before, but Horizon Zero Dawn, that's exclusive to the PS4. At least I assume it was. I don't remember. I'm saying things and I might be lying. And The Last Guardian is also exclusive. In terms of Hitman, I'm positive that's going to be multi-platform. And the next thing they showed was No Man's Sky. And they finally showed gameplay of No Man's Sky, so I was actually intrigued by what they showed, because prior to yesterday, they didn't really show anything in terms of gameplay. They were just like, oh, here's like some CGI crap and us talking about how amazing our game is. And I'm just like, okay, I can't get hyped for your game if I don't even know what's going on. I need to see what's happening. You can't just say, oh, it's going to be great, because anybody can say, oh, it's going to be great. I don't believe in the hype until I can see some gameplay. So they actually pulled through. They showed some gameplay. They got into a ship, flew through through the universe, showed how massive the universe was. It was filled with a bunch, like they were saying, how every light is a star, or basically a sun, and every sun has its own like solar system. So as they zoomed out, there was more and more and more, and people were like, "Oh yeah, that's great!" And people were clapping and stuff. And I'm just like, "Yeah, it looks nice." I'm still skeptical though, because like anything with trying to be so ambitious, it's easy to like mess up. So I'm gonna hold judgment on this game, like before I go, okay, I gotta get this. I'm gonna wait until it actually comes out and then see it like in its full, complete form before I like jump off the bridge and run to the store to go, well, not run to the store, but run to my console or PC and download it. So next game that was shown was something, it's another thing I'm not really interested in, even though it, like, I like art type things, like games that allow you to draw and create stuff. I believe it was called Dreams. It's made by the guys that made Little Big Planet. Yeah, they made the Little Big Planet games. And basically, the dude came up on stage and talked about how like you can like make things from paint. Like basically, you use the PlayStation 4 motion control, and you create like shapes and stuff, like if you were painting on a canvas. And then he also showed that you could animate the paintings and make like little videos and stuff. So I mean, I think it's cool. Like I have no problem with it. It looks interesting, but like it's not really a game. You can't really, I mean, it's a creative tool, I'm not gonna deny that, but it's not a game, so I'm not gonna get excited for it. But it still looked interesting, so that was just the thing I remember seeing. There was another game I saw called Firewatch, and gonna have to look it up because I can't remember exactly. I didn't write down anything about it, so I can't remember what it was. Okay, Firewatch was basically, if I remember, you're like a dude in the forest. I think you're like a lumberjack or something like that. I can't even remember. Okay, so I'm just going to read off what this article says because I honestly can't remember exactly what it was about. So it says, it's a mystery game starring Henry, a seemingly isolated fire lookout in a Wyoming forest in 1989. Guided by Delilah, a puzzling female voice over walkie-talkie, Henry is coerced into investigating a number of unexplained occurrences and disappearances in the wilderness. One tense moment includes the revelation that your lookout tower, now in the distance, has been taken over by a mysterious character. Interactions with Delilah aren't mandatory, and it will be up to you to decide how much you wish to trust her. Firewatch is also notable for its art direction, led by illustrator and post designer Ali Moss. The game will be released for the PS4 sometime this year. So when I saw it, I saw it had like the cartoony art style, kind of like Team Fortress 2. If you guys ever played Team Fortress or seen it, it has a certain art style. It looked like that. So that made me that kind of put my eyes to it. And then when I saw like what was going on, like the character was talking on the walkie-talkie with the female, he was exploring, looking at the environment and hearing information about people being kidnapped and stuff like that. So once that started popping up, I was like, ooh, this sounds interesting. So this is something I'm interested in. This is something I could probably get behind because I like a good mystery game, good horror game, a good mystery game. I'm all for it. So that was another thing that was shown. It's called Firewatch. It's coming out PS4. It's exclusive as well. Dreams exclusive as well. I keep forgetting to say that, and you guys obviously know No Man's Sky is exclusive to the PS4. So next game they showed was Destiny, and basically it was just DLC crap. It's Destiny's not new. Destiny's already a thing. They were talking about the new expansion. Don't care. I don't care about Destiny. They also showed Assassin's Creed. Don't care about that either. They showed it takes place in London, but we already knew that. They didn't really show anything new. The only new thing I found out, mainly because I didn't pay attention to any information that was being given regardless, was there's two different characters you actually can play as throughout the game. There's their brother and sister. The sister's name is Evie Fire. I don't know what the guy's name is. I don't know if they ever said it, but I wasn't paying attention that close enough. And it was basically a CGI trailer of her running around and killing dudes in London, showing off the weapons. It was like a sword, a cane sword, and throwing knives, and she used stealth and was climbing on rooftops, and I was like, it's another Assassin's Creed game, don't give a damn. So, don't give a damn. Next game they showed, this one was from Square Enix. Square Enix was dropping bombs. We were about to get into that, but Square Enix was dropping bombs. They showed another Final Fantasy game. It's called World of Final Fantasy. It looked cute. It had like a little cute artsy art style. It also kind of reminded me of Kingdom Hearts because it had like two different forms. It had like this little chibi adorable form, and then the characters could like get bigger and transform, and then it kind of looked like Kingdom Hearts. And I was like, wow, this looks interesting. It looks like a little cutesy RPG type game with based in the Final Fantasy universe, and you can get all different Final Fantasy characters in on it and get them to join in on your fights and stuff. You can basically you get familiars and you use them in battles and stuff like that, regardless of monsters or characters that are in the Final Fantasy universe. From what I've seen and what the lady was saying in the trailer. So yeah, it showed gameplay. If I believe it was gameplay they showed. CGI, a little bit of CGI. No, not even CGI. I'm pretty sure it was all gameplay, like all in-engine stuff. Looks cute. I'm not a huge Final Fantasy fan, so I might not get it, but it looks cute. Next thing they showed, this is when they dropped bombs. This is when Square Enix was like, we fucked up last time, but we got you guys. They came in and they were like, CGI trailer. So at first I was just like, fuck this. And then, like, about halfway through it, I saw a gun arm, and I was just like, okay, it's Final Fantasy 7. They're doing Final Fantasy 7 now? Are they doing it? And find out Final Fantasy 7 Remake. It's not exclusive to the PS4, but it's going to be on the PS4 first. So that's a thing people can look out for. I'm not excited for this, but I know everybody in that crowd was, because people have been dying for a Final Fantasy remake forever. But I'm not a Final Fantasy guy. I don't really like the games that Square Enix makes, as I said earlier. After that point, they showed indies, or not even indies. They showed one specific indie, Devolver Digital, and the games looked amazing. Like, they flashed on the screen so quick, I missed one of them, so I might have to look that up. But they showed Ronin. I love all of Devolver Digital's games. They make really great games. They showed Ronin, which was like all of them are pixel-based games. So the first one was called Ronin, which looked like it was a side-scroller. You were a ninja, and they were showing off like the gameplay of him throwing swords and executing people and hanging them from the ceiling by like strings and stuff. And I was like, oh shit, it looks so cool. And I don't know why I get so hyped for Devolver Digital games. Their games are really good. I guess I have a reason to. They make really good products. Another game called Ether, I believe it's pronounced. It's EITR. I assume it's Ether. And it was like a really gory type of... It looked like a dungeon crawler game, but it also looked like every game I see, I harken back to like Dark Souls, when it looks like dark and mysterious and with a little bit of like horror into it. I would say, okay, that looks like a Dark Souls game to me. It kind of looked like a Dark Souls game to me. It had like this female character going around killing skeletons and other things like that. It looked really interesting. The third game they showed was Mother Russia Bleeds, and it looked like a beat 'em up. So that one looked really cool as well. There was a lot of blood of this really buff dude walking around. It was kind of like a old school, like trying to think of a game, like Streets of Rage type thing, where it was like a side scroller with the kind of up and down movement, and you beat people up and stuff. Looked really nice. Liked it. There was one more, which I'm gonna have to look up because I didn't even catch the name of it. Alright, so I'm watching it here. The last one that they actually showed was Crossing Souls, and it looked like a really funky beat-em-up type thing. They actually had some animated like little segments in it as well, as if it was like a cartoon. And all the games they showed just made me go, oh my god, this is so amazing. Like, Devolver Digital puts out a lot of good stuff. They publish a lot of good games. So yeah, that was what had me super hyped. But something that actually piqued my interest even more than that, and you're probably thinking, there's no way anything was more interesting than that, or even Final Fantasy VII. Fuck Final Fantasy VII, because Shenmue 3 is going to be a thing now, and I got so, like, I don't get hype for anything, but Shenmue 3 is a thing. It's on Kickstarter, and it's already made. I am spazzing out right now because Shenmue 3, literally yesterday, it was announced that it was going to be on Kickstarter. Sony came out, the head Yu Suzuki, he came out and said, okay, I want to make Shenmue 3, so it is up to the gamers to help me make Shenmue 3. And literally, the day this Kickstarter went up, it has already reached its goal. It has made over $2 million. This goes to show how many people love that franchise. It's just so crazy. I'm super stoked. I'm super stoked. I'm sorry. I'm tearing up right now because I've been wanting a Shen. I haven't backed it yet though, by the way, but I will be backing it. It's still literally got 31 days on it because it was just put up, so it's already they actually changed how Ryu looks. I mean, obviously they're updating the graphics, so they're going to be changing all of the character models and stuff. With all the money that they're going to get, they're going to be able to make something massive. So I'm going to be looking forward to this game. Yu Suzuki, I hope you get all the money you need. And if you guys haven't seen his little video that was shown on the Sony press conference, I recommend you checking it out because it made me tear up a little bit when I saw it. I was so excited. So, fuck you, Sega. We don't need Sega no more. Sega's not worth our time. Arkham Knight was shown. They showed like a little like gameplay, but it wasn't actual gameplay of Arkham Knight of you playing as Batman. It was gameplay of you playing as a cop, and basically you were in a diner. It looked really interesting, and it also reminded me of like Call of Duty, like the zombies mode for the Nazi zombies or whatever, for Black Ops 2 or any of the Call of Duties now, because they seem to all be including zombie mode in all of them. But in terms of this gameplay footage, at first it was like CGI trailer, and then it kind of melded together and it turned into gameplay. And you were a cop, and the cop was just like, he got into a diner and he sat down, and a dude walked up to him and said, "Hey, there's a guy over there smoking. Can you like do something about that, officer?" And he's like, "All right." So he walks over to the guy and tells him, "Hey, you can't smoke in here." And the guy just kind of pops up, and he's like a dead-looking husk of a person. And the dude like pushes him and runs off, and the dude turns around, like the cop turns around and sees like almost everybody, like half the people have turned into like these monster things. They showed Project Morpheus, and they also talked about a paid TV service. I think it was called like PlayStation View or something like that. And it's just extra stuff I didn't really care about, so I didn't really write any notes about it. It's just like TV integration and VR integration. So that's how I felt about all that. And then Sony showed Black Ops 3, and I was just like, okay, Sony has like the 1 month of DLC early before Xbox One now. Don't know why they went for that. I feel Call of Duty is starting to die off. People aren't as excited for it anymore, so maybe Microsoft was just like, fuck it, you can have it, because it hasn't been doing that great. They showed gameplay of the campaign mode, which I felt was unimmersive, mainly because they did that one thing that I really hate that co-op games do, where it's like, okay, you're in a cutscene, you only see like one character, and when the cutscene is done, like 3 other characters just appear out of nowhere. It just breaks immersion. It makes it feel like they're not really there. They're just kind of like how Saints Row did it, where it's like your second player isn't part of the cutscene; they're just kind of there. So they don't really exist. They're just there. They're just in your world, helping you do things, but they're not actually part of the story. They're not. I just like to see it when other like if you're playing a 4-player co-op game, and like for example the Halo 5 that they showed at Microsoft's conference, all 4 of those characters are different characters. They all have background stories and names and stuff like that. So when a cutscene happens, you're seeing all 4 of them. You're seeing them interact and talk and whatnot. And in terms of the Call of Duty game that's coming out, there isn't that. I'm not saying like that's a deal breaker and nobody should get the game because of it. I just feel it's breaking immersion because of that. And I'm not excited for it. I haven't been excited for Call of Duty in a long time. And yeah, they showed gameplay. It looked like basic Call of Duty, nothing special. After that, they showed Disney Infinity, which wasn't even interesting. They showed Disney Infinity with like Star Wars integration. They were talking about like Star Wars is coming to Disney Infinity now because Disney owns it. And last but not least, they showed Uncharted 4. It was basically gameplay. It was a gameplay trailer that they showed, or not even a gameplay. They showed actual gameplay, and it looks nice. But I'm not really into Uncharted. I played Uncharted 2 and 3. Both of them were really short, really easy. I didn't really get invested in the story. The one character that I did like was, I think his name was Sully, the old guy who's always with you. I liked him. I didn't really like Nate. So they showed it. When they first started like booting the last segment up, they actually had some problems because it like stuck only on PlayStation. I don't know if they were like building up hype. But it looked like they were having issues, because once the game finally booted up and it loaded up the first cutscene, Nate just kind of stood there, and eventually the demo kind of restarted, because I assumed they were having issues. It restarted, and then it was working once it restarted again. Something I noticed was a grenade got, like, it was little things I was pointing out that I put down. A grenade was thrown, and you could not throw it back. I still don't understand why you can't do that. That's been a thing since Uncharted 1, where the people throw grenades at you and you can't throw them back. You think by now Nate would have the capacity in his mind to be able to pick it up and just chuck it back at the enemies. That should be a thing. But especially with his type of personality, where he's just like, whoa, here, take it back, or some shit like that. So I was a little disappointed with that, but that's not a deal breaker. That doesn't mean the game's going to be terrible or anything like that. And that was pretty much it. Also, there was like this really cool segment where whoever was playing climbed up on a roof, jumped off, punched the dude in the face, and his gun flipped out of his hand. He caught the dude's gun and then just kept going. I was like, well, that looked cool. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I thought it was really cool. So outside of that, that was literally the last thing they showed, and I think the conference went on for like maybe a couple seconds longer than it should have, or maybe a couple of minutes, because the trailer or the gameplay trailer, whatever you want to call it, I'm getting shit confused. It dragged on for a bit longer than it needed to, so because it had issues. So pretty much that's what occurred. Outside of that, I feel Sony did a much better job with their conference. They dropped. They dropped huge bombs. Shenmue 3, that's going to be PS3 and PC. Not PS3. PS4 and PC, my bad. Final Fantasy, it's going to be on the Xbox One, but it's going to be on PS4 first. And eventually it will come to Xbox One. So I guess they're going to be doing the whole thing that Tomb Raider is doing. So, and I mean, in terms of Tomb Raider versus Final Fantasy VII, Final Fantasy VII has more weight. Regardless of how much I don't like that game, it has much more weight and influence than Tomb Raider does. So when it comes to people going, I can get an Xbox One and I can get Tomb Raider early, or I can get a PS4 and get Final Fantasy VII early, they're gonna go for the Final Fantasy VII because that's just a more loved game. It just I don't know. I feel Sony played their cards perfectly with that, seeing how Microsoft has Tomb Raider right now for the time being. So yeah, that's all that they showed. As I said, I felt they had a much better overall conference than Microsoft. They showed some really great games, and a lot of it was gameplay. It wasn't just CGI trailers. Most of it was gameplay, and I really appreciated that, because then that doesn't just leave it to my imagination to wonder what the game is going to be like. I want to know what the game is going to be like before I get excited for it. So anyway, that's pretty much it. There's more E3 shit to come. I'm just going to do one more, and it's going to be based off of Nintendo. I'm not going to touch on, as I said, I'm not going to touch on the smaller stuff. So the Square Enix conference, I'm probably not going to watch that. They're most likely going to show the same stuff they've already shown, and I don't care about Square Enix anyway. I may glance at it, but I'm not going to sit there for too long, most likely. We'll see what happens. I don't know. Maybe I'll go, well, let me look at some Square Enix. I actually want to see more of that. They might show Kingdom Hearts, actually, now that I think about it. Maybe I should watch it. Anyway, you all have a good day, afternoon, evening, night. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next time.